Welcome to the Prescott Lab podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and integrative medicine researcher at the Ravenshade Institute for Human Health. And if you're a man over 60 or someone who deeply cares about one, I want to start this episode with something most doctors never say out loud. You're not broken, and your strength isn't gone, it's just been waiting for the right signal. Because every morning you wake up without that familiar energy, without that quiet sign of life from your body, it's not failure. It's silence. And silence, my friend, can be reversed. Today, I'll show you exactly how just 3 simple minutes done right after waking can awaken the very part of your body that may have been quiet for years. No pills, no gimmicks, just real biology, real rhythm, and real results. But before we begin, I have a small favor to ask. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, go ahead and hit that button now because each episode brings you science-backed tools to help restore your manhood, vitality, and confidence naturally. And if you're someone who believes in second chances, in healing, or even just in the idea that better days are still ahead, tap that like button. Not just for the algorithm, but for you. Because who knows? Maybe the moment you click that button is the very moment luck, strength, and health start to return in your life. I've seen stranger things happen. And if you do leave a comment, even a simple one, may your mornings grow lighter, your body stronger, and your spirit sharper with each passing day. Now let's get honest. Most men don't lose their manhood, they simply forget how to wake it up. And what I'm about to show you might just be the simplest way to remember. Let's begin. 1. Why your manhood didn't fail, it just fell asleep. Let me ask you something personal and answer quietly just between you and the truth. Have you ever looked down in the morning and wondered, is that it? Am I done? If you have, you're not alone. Alan, one of my patients, 69 years old, retired firefighter, once told me, "Doc, I haven't felt like myself in 5 years. It's not even about sex anymore. I just miss the feeling of being alive." And I looked him in the eye and said what I'll tell you now, your manhood didn't fail, it didn't break, it simply stopped receiving signals. Here's what most men never hear, your body responds to rhythm. Blood flow, nerve signals. And when that system goes unused, not broken, not diseased, it simply shuts down quietly. Like a car left in the garage too long, the engine still works, it just hasn't been asked to. And that's the part no pill can fix. Manhood isn't a switch, it's a signal. A conversation your body waits for every morning. When you stop sending that signal, no movement, no hydration, no breath, the system doesn't panic. It just falls asleep. But here's the beauty, anything that falls asleep can be awakened. Some of you might be nodding right now, you know that stillness, that quiet loss doctors rarely explain, so let me ask you this. What if it wasn't loss at all? What if it was hibernation? If that idea gives you a flicker of hope, type awake in the comments. Let's make this real. Let's show that this isn't shame, it's science. And if you're still unsure, type asleep. Well, either way, I promise I'll read it. This isn't just information. This is a wake-up call. And next, I'll tell you about a man who thought it was over until something quietly returned in just 7 mornings. 2. How one patient regained his confidence. Let me tell you a story. A real one. George was 72, retired mailman, walked into my office with a baseball cap pulled low and eyes full of quiet defeat. He didn't sit right away, he just said, "Doc, I think I lost that part of me, maybe for good." Then he looked away like he was ashamed of saying it. Before I go on, let me read a comment that just came in. Someone named Jim62 wrote, "No morning erection in 4 years. Is it even worth trying anymore?" Jim, if you're here, listen closely, because this story is for you. I placed a hand on George's arm and said, "It's not gone, it's not broken, it's just gone quiet." And silence, Jim, can be reversed. You see, most men mistake quiet for failure, but what's really happening is simple. The system's blood vessels, nerves, hormones, they haven't stopped working. They've stopped being asked to. Think of a car left too long in the garage. The battery's not dead, it just hasn't been turned in months. If you don't flex a muscle, it weakens. but it doesn't vanish. If you don't use a language, it fades, but it's still there. And if you don't engage your morning reflexes, they pause, not forever, just until they're called again. So I gave George no pills, no machines, just one thing, 3 minutes each morning, water, movement, food. He was skeptical, but he promised to try. 7 days later, he sent me a message. A little laugh, then one sentence. Doc, I woke up hard this mornings. He wasn't just talking about an erection. He was talking about hope. And if that hit you in the chest, it's because something in you knows it's not too late. Your body hasn't given up. It's just waiting for you to speak again in a language it remembers. In the next part, I'll show you exactly what most men do after waking up that keeps their system in low power mode all day long. You won't want to miss it. 3. The mistake 99% of men make after waking. Let me ask you a question and be honest. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up? No, not what you wish you did, what you actually do. If you're like most men, you probably reach for your phone. Maybe scroll through the news, check some emails, glance at the weather, or fall into a rabbit hole of headlines and nonsense. Sound familiar? I'm not judging you. I did the same thing for years. Wake up groggy, rub my eyes, and before my feet even touched the floor, I was plugged into stress. No water, no movement, no breath, just screen, pressure, and chaos. And I couldn't figure out why I felt so drained. So disconnected from my body. Like something inside was shutting down, but quietly, without warning. Then I started noticing it in my patients. Men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, men who once had fire in their mornings were waking up dull, sluggish, indifferent. And here's what I realized. Morning isn't just the start of your day. It's a biological switch. And if you skip that switch, or worse, fill it with noise and distraction, your system stays half asleep. Let me break it down clearly. Within the first 30–60 minutes after waking, your body enters what we call the prime activation window. It's when circulation should ramp up, when testosterone production reboots, when your brain and nervous system are most sensitive to positive input. But if you flood that window with blue light, news, stress, and caffeine on an empty stomach, here's what happens. Your blood vessels constrict. Your cortisol spikes. Your nitric oxide tanks. Your sexual reflexes disappear quietly into the background. Not because you're too old, but because your system never got the signal to rise. I've seen men reclaim energy, arousal, even joy, not by adding more, but by removing what never belonged in their mornings to begin with. So let me ask again, what do you really do in the first 10 minutes of your day? And if your answer includes doom scrolling, skipping breakfast, or sitting still in silence, maybe that's where we begin. In the next part, I'll show you the one reflex your body is still waiting for, the signal it needs to remember how to respond like it once did, without any pill and without force. We're getting closer now. 4. The silent health signal you shouldn't ignore. Mark was 68 when he came to see me. He didn't talk about intimacy. He didn't even mention sex. He just said, "Doc, I wake up and nothing, no sign of life. Not even a flicker. I don't even care about performance anymore. I just want to know my body still works." That hit me hard. Because what he was describing wasn't about pleasure or bravado. It was about identity. You see, most people think a morning erection is just a sexual reflex. But that's a myth. It's a biological indicator, a vital sign, just like blood pressure or heart rate. It tells you. Heavy checkmark your circulatory system is open and flowing. Heavy checkmark your nerves are firing. Heavy checkmark your testosterone isn't asleep. Heavy checkmark your body is still engaged in the game of life. When that signal disappears, something deeper is often at play. Not always a disease, not always damage, but a fading of rhythm, a disconnect in communication between mind and body. Here's what makes it tricky. There's no warning, no pain, just absence. One day it's there, then it's not. And most men don't even notice it until months, sometimes years, have gone by. They say, "I guess that's just part of aging." But that's not biology, that's resignation. The truth is, when your morning reflex fades, it's not the end. It's a signal, a quiet one but powerful. It could mean your nitric oxide levels have dropped, your pelvic floor muscles have weakened from disuse, or your blood vessels have started to tighten slowly, silently. But here's the hope, and it's real. That signal can return. It's not gone. It's just forgotten what time to arrive. And once you understand how to reawaken that reflex without force, without pills, just with rhythm, breath, and proper input, something incredible starts to happen. Your system remembers. In the next part, I'll walk you through the science behind the 3-minute ritual that brings this reflex back online. Not overnight, but naturally, steadily, and in many cases remarkably fast. Let's go there. 5. The science of the 3-minute ritual. When I first began sharing this ritual with patients in their 60s and 70s, I got the same reaction every time. 3 minutes, doc, that's it. They'd raise an eyebrow, some politely, some not so much, and I understood the skepticism. After years of pills, appointments, and letdowns, something this simple almost feels like an insult. But science doesn't care about how complicated your solution sounds. Biology responds to rhythm, not drama. This ritual works because it gives your body 3 things it's quietly begging for each morning: hydration, movement, and biological fuel. Let's break it down. First, water, 2 glasses of plain room temperature water. Why? Because blood is over 90% water. And when you wake up, your vessels are thick, your circulation is slow, and your body is thirsty even if you don't feel it. That water doesn't just hydrate you, it thins your blood. And it kickstarts nitric oxide, the molecule that helps blood vessels open up, especially down below. Second, movement, not a workout. Just 2 or 3 minutes of stretching, slow walking, or deep breathing with your arms overhead. The goal isn't sweat, it's signal. This movement activates your vagus nerve, boosts circulation, and tells your nervous system, we're awake, let's go. Third, fuel, not sugar, not caffeine on an empty stomach. We're talking boiled eggs, a few berries, some yogurt or seeds. These foods feed your hormones. They whisper to your system, it's safe, you can function now. When you give your body these 3 things in rhythm, every morning it starts to respond. Not because it's been fixed, but because it's been reminded. Now, if you're listening right now and thinking, I could try that, then do me a favor, pause, breathe, and hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. Because if your mornings are silent, then maybe what you need isn't another opinion. It's a reminder from this voice, this podcast, this plan, that it's never too late to wake up something inside you. And hey, if you hit subscribe and your body starts changing this week, don't thank me. Just wink at the mirror and say, I showed up. In the next part, I'll share what happened when one man, a quiet skeptic, tried this ritual for just 7 days. What he told me nearly brought me to tears. Let's meet him. 6. The true story of Richard's comeback. Richard was 66 when he came to me. Tall, formal, the kind of man who stood straight even when the world bent him low. He was a former high school principal. A man used to command, routine, and respect. But the man who sat in my office that day carried a different weight. A quiet heaviness. Not in his voice, in his eyes. He said, Doc, I did everything right in life. But somewhere along the way, I let go of that part of me. He wasn't talking about sex. He was talking about identity, about waking up and not feeling like himself anymore. I didn't lecture him. I didn't give him a list of lab tests or prescriptions. I just handed him 3 simple instructions: water, movement, fuel, 3 minutes, every morning for 7 days. He looked at me like I had just handed him a children's coloring book. You could see the doubt behind the politeness. But he said, okay, I'll try. And here's what happened. 1 week later, I got an email from Richard. Just 1 sentence. I woke up this morning and I felt like I'm coming back. That's it, not I had an erection. Not I'm cured. Just that quiet phrase, I'm coming back. And if you've ever woken up feeling invisible, uncertain, or just off, you'll understand what those words meant. It wasn't about performance. It was about presence. When blood starts moving again. When your breath deepens without you even trying, when you stand taller without realizing it, you're not chasing youth, you're reconnecting to yourself. That's what this ritual does, not through force, but through rhythm, reminder, and respect. You may not feel fireworks on day one. You may not wake up with full confidence by day two, but somewhere between day 5 and day 7, something stirs, and that stirring is everything. Now in the next part, I'll walk you through what happens at 7, 14, and 30 days so you know exactly what to look for. Because sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that mean you're finally on the right track. 7. What to expect in 7, 14, and 30 days. One of the most common questions I hear from men is this: Doc, how long before I feel something again? It's a fair question. Because when you've lived in silence, physical, emotional, hormonal silence for years, even the smallest flicker feels like a miracle. But the truth is, your body is more responsive than you think. It just needs rhythm and consistency. Here's what typically happens if you stick to the ritual. By day 7, you're not flying out of bed doing backflips, but something shifts, your sleep feels deeper. The fog in your head starts to clear, and down there, not a full erection yet. But maybe a warmth, a twitch, a firmness that wasn't there before. Some men describe it like a pulse waking up, not loud, but present. By day 14, your body begins to believe you. Hormones start rebalancing gently. Mood improves, you find yourself more alert, more centered. Your posture straightens without you realizing. And the morning reflex, it starts showing up again. Still soft, still inconsistent, but it's there. By day 30. That's when the system begins to feel reliable. Your body doesn't need convincing anymore, it remembers. You wake up with confidence. Blood flow is strong, testosterone has rhythm. And spontaneous arousal, the kind you thought was gone, comes back like an old friend who never stopped believing in you. Not every man hits the same milestones. Some feel it faster. Others need longer. But if you stay consistent, water, movement, fuel, your body responds. Now let me ask you something. Where are you in this journey right now? Day 1, day 7, still skeptical on the sidelines? If you've started already, leave a comment and let me know which day you're on and what you've noticed. Even if it's small, even if it's just better sleep. Because sometimes the smallest changes are the proof that something deeper is waking up. In the next part, we'll talk about why most men never recover even when they try hard and what makes your path different. And I promise you this, it has nothing to do with age, and everything to do with how you treat your biology. 8. Why most men never recover and how you will. Let me tell you something that might sound harsh at first. Most men never recover not because they can't, but because they quit too soon. I've seen it again and again. They try pills, shots, gadgets, all the things that promise miracles. And when those fail quietly, they resign. They start telling themselves, maybe this is just how it ends. As I'm too old. I missed the window. But here's the truth. You're not broken, you're disconnected, because real recovery doesn't happen through force. It happens through reconnection to rhythm, to breath, to blood flow, to biology. The men who do recover don't look for a fix. They rebuild the system. They stop forcing and start reconditioning with rhythm, patience, and intention. Now let me answer some of the questions I hear most often, because I know many of you are thinking these exact things. Doc, what if I've had ED for 10 years? You're exactly who this ritual is for. 10 years of silence doesn't mean damage. It just means deeper sleep, and anything that sleeps can wake up. I have diabetes. Will this still work for me? Yes. In fact, men with blood sugar or circulation issues often see faster results. Stay consistent. Focus on progress, not perfection. I'm on testosterone therapy. Should I stop? Don't make any changes without your doctor. But know this ritual works alongside your treatment. And over time, many men need less external support as their body relearns how to respond naturally. I've tried morning routines before. I always lose motivation. That's because motivation isn't reliable. Rhythm is, don't aim to be perfect. Aim to show up 3 minutes every day, that's it. How do I know it's really working? Your body will tell you, first in your sleep, then your mood, then subtle sensations. Until one day something wakes up quietly but powerfully and you realize you're back. So if you failed before, don't blame yourself. You didn't have the full picture. Now you do. And this time you're not starting over, you're starting better. In the next part, I'll share one simple ingredient that men have used to double their results in just a few days. You probably already have it in your kitchen. Let's talk about it. 9. One extra ingredient that changes everything. Sometimes it's the smallest shift that makes the biggest difference. A patient of mine, Joel, 74, reminded me of this truth. He followed the morning ritual exactly as I described. Water, movement, breakfast, day after day he showed up, quiet, steady. But after a week he asked me something that made me smile. Doc, is there anything I can do to speed it up just a little? Now I only share this extra step with men who have already proven they're serious. Not because it's dangerous, but because it only works if you've already shown up for yourself first. It's simple, it's natural, and you probably already have it at home. Here it is. Add a pinch of Himalayan pink salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon to your morning water. That's it, not expensive, not exotic, but powerful, the salt. It contains trace minerals your blood vessels desperately need: magnesium, potassium, sodium, all in a form your body recognizes. These minerals help your arteries relax and your circulation flow more freely, especially in the areas that have been, well, quiet. And the lemon, it stimulates digestion, supports liver function, and even helps the body regulate testosterone more efficiently. Together, they do something subtle but profound. They amplify the morning signal. They tell your system, it's time, you're safe, wake up. Joel tried it. 2 days later, he came back with a different energy. He didn't say much, just sat down and said, "Doc, I feel warmer, alive. I don't know what's happening, but something's working." I just nodded, because I've seen that look before, the one where something internal has quietly clicked back into place. Now don't expect magic. This isn't about hype. It's about support, giving your body exactly what it needs to do what it already knows how to do. So if you're already doing the ritual, water, movement, food, and you're ready for a little extra edge, try the lemon and salt and watch what happens. In the next part, I'll share something even deeper, because beyond the rituals and ingredients, there's a message your body has been waiting to hear every morning. And when you learn to speak that language, everything changes. Let's go there. 10. The secret language of your morning. Every morning, whether you realize it or not, you're having a conversation with your body. The way you wake up, how you breathe, what you drink, whether you move, it all sends a message. That message is either, "I'm here, I'm alive, I'm in charge," or it's silence. For years, I misunderstood this myself. I thought healing meant doing more supplements, more routines, more rules. But what I've come to understand through patience, through mistakes, through long nights thinking I'd lost my own rhythm, is that healing begins when you start speaking the body's language again. And that language is rhythm. It's water before noise. It's breath before distraction. It's movement before the world floods in. It doesn't take much, but it does take presence. This is why the ritual works, not because it's flashy, but because it's fluent. It speaks in signals your body hasn't heard in years. It whispers, "You're safe, you're home, you can wake up now." And when your body hears that enough times, day after day, it starts to trust again. The blood flows more freely. The hormones regulate themselves. The nervous system exhales. And out of that, something precious begins to rise, not performance, not pressure, but vitality, not because you chased it, but because you finally stopped running from your own rhythm. The truth is, your body has never stopped trying. It just got tired of being ignored. And now, after all these years, when you give it attention, breath, and rhythm, it begins to respond not out of force, but out of relief. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. And if all you do tomorrow morning is wake up, drink water, move your body, and eat with intention, you've already begun speaking that language again, and your body will answer you, maybe not loudly, maybe not immediately, but faithfully, because it remembers. In the next and final part, I'll bring all of this together, not with theory, not with more tips, but with a truth I've seen change lives not just of patients but my own. Will finish strong. 11 final words. You're not too old, you're right on time. Let me leave you with this. Your body has never abandoned you. It didn't shut down because you turned 60 or because time ran out. It simply went quiet, waiting for a message worth waking up for. And now that message is back in your hands. 3 minutes. Every morning, water, movement, nourishment, not to fix you, not to chase youth, but to reclaim something you never truly lost, your presence, your rhythm, your quiet strength as a man. I've watched men who felt invisible, men who thought their best days were 20 years behind them rise again, not with pills, not with surgery, but with rhythm, with breath, with belief. And every single time it started the same way. They made a decision, not a dramatic one, just a quiet, steady choice to show up for themselves, to treat their body not as a burden but as an ally. You are not too old, you are not too late, and your best mornings might still be ahead of you. If this message meant something to you today, take one small step. Tap the like button. Think of it as a signal to yourself, to the algorithm, to the universe that you're ready, that you're not giving up, that something in you still wants to rise. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now. Because what we're building here, this isn't just a podcast. It's a place for men to return to themselves. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you deeply, not just for listening, but for believing, even if just a little, even if just today. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Tell me where you are on your journey. Day 1, day 10, still unsure. I'll read it. I always do. And if you know another man, a brother, a father, a friend who needs this message, I'll share this with him. It might be the sign he's been waiting for. Until next time, stay steady, stay honest, and remember your body is still listening. All it needs is the right signal.